To approve a vote of no confidence of the Mayor Towers. Second.
Second.
Comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to know who put this on the agenda, a vote for no confidence of the mayor. Actually, it should be, if people was that concerned with this board, it should be a no confidence for this board. But this board is what is causing all the problems, not the mayor. It's your trustee Hanks, it's your trustee Burgess, it's your trustee Williams. They're the ones causing all the problems. So it should be a no confidence for them and not the mayor, because they're not working with you. They're not doing anything to try to bring stability to the village. So to bring this out like this is foolishness. And it shouldn't even be allowed. It should have not been allowed on this agenda. No confidence for the mayor, should be no confidence for members of this board. They are the problems for the citizens, not you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other comments?
Just one comment. We did address this last week, Tuesday, in executive session. I did ask for support on the board at that time. I was the one that wrote it.
Trustee.
I'm sorry.
I was the one that presented it, and I know Trustee Benson could not make that meeting. So the copy was submitted to the village manager, and I did about 45 minutes ago ask her if she had the opportunity to provide that copy to Ms. Benson. She did say that she put it in the box. She did have the opportunity to review it. I'm not sure if she did so, but she said that she didn't give him a copy. So that's really all I'll say about that.
Mr. Mayor, I received a copy of it. So that was yesterday. Oh, I forgot. You the same one that stated you will not work with the mayor no matter what you do. I forgot. So there it is. Thank you, sir.
I'm really going to ask.
I know you are.
Let's move forward.
Second.
I'm going to ask the trustee to bring the personal attack that I did not say. And I'm all in favor for Ms. Pruitt to bring this whole mediation thing. If we recall, around this time when he says I said this, I also said we needed to come to this meeting. And I know people are shaking their heads and they're all upset about this, but I did ask for this for 2 years ago. So I don't know why it's tabled for another week, but hey, we can table it, that's fine. Regardless of the situation, if Trustee Benson says he has a copy of it, he can read the reason why I wrote it. 5 trustees did sign it. He was given the opportunity to sign it. He chooses not to, as well within his right. There's a motion in a second. I'll ask him to vote.
Any other comments? Okay. My comment to it before we'll wait till Trustee finish the phone call. My comments. First of all, I never did see the letter, who signed the letter. I never did get a copy of who signed it. I'm really not surprised by this board saying that a letter of no confidence, because they have not worked with me from day one. Over 3 years ago, most of the board didn't vote for my first appointee. Then they made it like I appointed the chief of police, and they led the village to believe that I appointed the chief of police, when the board, actually I had a committee to hire a chief of police. I went without a village manager for over 2.5 years. That the village didn't have a village manager. We were still working to hold things together. I was still doing the work that you elected me to do. They put pressure on the finance director, forced her out. So anything that I did, did whatever I could to bring jobs into the village. I went out and I got a a manufacturer to come into our industrial park when other village and municipalities did not bring a brand new building, brand new manufacturer, over 300 square feet manufacturer into our industrial park that is going to be opening up sometime this spring, that is going to bring jobs to our village. So again, with a vote of no confidence, I'm not surprised because I'm doing my job. Here's a business that has been sitting vacant, the old Bear Paint building there, went out and got somebody to come in to repair that building, to bring in a business so it doesn't just sit there and look like our village is going down. They're working right now. If you go by there now, they're cleaning it up, starting to get ready to bring somebody in to bring more jobs into the village. I'm doing the job that you elected me to do. Folks, this board, these same trustees that voted no confidence, cut down the last basketball goal that we had in our village for our kids. They cut it down. I went out and got a donation. If you happen to look over there in the back of the park there, we have put a brand new outside basketball so our kids, if they want to play basketball after hours, they will be able to do that. That same donation is going to provide those 2 jobs that the trustees are going to be able to have. I went out and got that because I wanted to make sure that we have programs and activities for our kids. I'm doing the job that you're asking me to do. Let me also say that I'm helping to keep our taxes down. That's one of the reasons that the wind pack is coming in. If we had not gotten wind pack in here, your taxes would have been raised because we would not been able to meet the obligation of this building what these same trustees told you that this bill was paid for. If we had not went out and got wind pack, your taxes would have been raised. So make no mistake about it, that these same trustees got a vote of no confidence on me that I'm doing the job that you elected me to do. And I will still continue to do the job that you elected me to do. From the time that you elected me to do the job here in Sauk Village, I said that there was going to be some changes. Everybody's not going to be on board with it, and everybody's not going to be on board with it. I went out and got Christmas baskets for 3 years in a row that we have over, and some of you benefit from it, over 300 baskets every Christmas that were given out to a Sauk Village resident because of the donation that I went out and required. I'm not doing my job. That's the trustees, so they're the ones that are not doing my job. Folks, I'm doing the job that you're asking me to do. I'm working right now to make sure that this village get a better quality of water for you. I'm doing that. Some of you are not going to be happy with it. Some of you like the water with it. But we will put it to a referendum this March. And if you think that you're not happy with the quality of water, then you vote for it. If you're happy with it, then that's your right. You don't have to vote for it. But I'm going to let you know I'm going to work hard as I can to improve this quality of water in Sauk Village. I've been reaching out to our other elected officials to make sure we get some help with it. And I'm hoping and I'm almost sure that we will. So with the board to reach and say a vote of no confidence in the mayor, you know, as Trustee Benson has said, there have been board members tell me from day one, as long as I'm mayor, you will not run this building. And they made it perfectly clear. There's no secret about it. Everybody knows it. But I am still focused to do the job that you elected me to do. And I will continue to do the job that you elected me to do. So at that point, we will have the village clerk.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, just so the residents realize, I think what you need to do is do your research, because the mayor talks about bringing businesses into this community. This is the same mayor that attacked local businesses and blackballed Ace Hardware. If you look at go through your minutes and check previous minutes, you'll find WinPac was brought into this village by the Golden Village Board. They were also brought in by a master planner that we have over in TIF number 3. They were the ones that brought WinPac to this village, and they worked very hard along with our village attorneys to make get a deal settled with WinPac so we could keep them here in Sauk Village. I think the other thing we need to realize also is fair pay. The mayor talks about fair pay. Look at your minutes. Go back and see how we granted them tax breaks so that they would fix that building up so we could keep them here in Sauk Village. The fact that no confidence tonight we have before us, this last week, is just an example why this village board has no confidence for this mayor. This mayor put out an executive order, which he has no power to put out an executive order. And his executive order was to disregard an ordinance that was on our books. Now, however, the mayor took the time to amend his agenda his way, because he talked out of order at the beginning of this meeting, and I did not say anything. At the beginning of this meeting, he took roll call and then all of a sudden opened up the floor to give his statement. It wasn't under his part of the agenda. Now, you need to realize the mayor put an executive order to disregard an ordinance that was in place. I agree, and I admit that the ordinance was overturned by the courts. This board will go by the court's decision. However, we took an oath. The executive order that the mayor put out was in complete violation of the oath that he took when he took office, that he would uphold the laws and the ordinances of the state of Illinois and Sauk Village. He ordered temporary Chief Fox to disregard the ordinance that was on our books and to remain in place. Now, the mayor said that we went over there, and Trustee Burgess and myself went across the street to ask the temporary chief to abide by the ordinances. You have to and think about this. He is supposed to be a leader in that department. The direction that he was giving to his employees, which is our police department, is you can disregard the ordinances. You don't have to abide by the law. We were asking him to please step down. We knew the courts were going to make a decision today. We were expecting either today or tomorrow for the courts to come down with a decision. When Chief Fox said that he did not have to answer to the board, when he said that he was going to continue doing what the mayor told him, which was to disregard the ordinances that this village had on its books, he no longer was abiding by the law. When elected officials take office, we take an oath that we will uphold and enforce the ordinances of this community. Now, the newspapers will tell you he went out for lunch. Well, I can assure you that he did leave for lunch shortly after 1 o'clock, and I was still at this village hall until after 5 o'clock, and he never returned. Were the locks changed? Yes, the locks were changed because of the ordinance that was in place. The ordinance that was in place at the time, the temporary Chief Fox, a civilian, and a civilian had no right within our police department within inside those walls. Again, you read the newspapers, you've heard probably newspaper articles that we asked to have him removed. We asked him to remove himself so that our police department would not have to get involved. We did not want our police department getting involved in this situation. Any person with character would have removed themselves and said, let me wait to see what the courts say, knowing that the courts were going to make a decision. Now, we have young people running the streets, we have the police department running the streets. What kind of example is that to tell our residents we can disregard the ordinances that are in place and you do not have to listen to them? And you do not have to abide by them. That's just one example. Again, this board up here will vote, and I can't tell you how the rest of them are going to vote. I mean, I know I did sign the vote of no confidence because there is no confidence in this mayor. And that, again, I read something tonight that said democracy is based on a difference of opinions and the right to express those opinions, whether you share the opinion or not. And you know what? It's a vote. All it is to say, Mr. Mayor, we're up here, we don't have any confidence in you. We want this village to move forward. We want the village to move forward. And residents, for him to say that this board has never worked with him, I encourage you, go back and read the minutes again. Read the minutes from past previous minutes, from past and previous meetings. This village board, when he came on board, he had no experience at all. This village board tried to work with him, tried to help him. He refused. I've said in the past, this mayor is, it's my way or the highway. This mayor is, if you're either for me or you're my enemy. You're against me. It shouldn't be that way. I've been a trustee, I've been your trustee. I've been serving you for quite a few years. You've given me the opportunity to sit up here and represent you, and I appreciate that. However, the words coming out of this mayor's mouth, it offends me, and it should offend you, because they are not true. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry that we're taking this vote tonight. All the years I've served on this board, I've never taken a vote of no confidence against any mayor. I opened up my house and this mayor came and sat at my table in my dining room when he was elected and tried to work with him to move this village forward. So to say that this village board has never worked with this mayor is a lie. And again, go back and look at your minutes. Go back and look at previous meetings. We have tried to work with this mayor, and you know what? We'll continue to try to work with this mayor because it's important to you as the residents. However, there is a checks and balance, and that's why we're elected. So, Mr. Mayor, you brought up so much things about basketball courts. You talked about getting money for basketball courts. That basketball court is backed by direction of the village board. He wants to tell you he went and got the money, he put it up there. When we removed the basketball court at the end of a street where there was gangs, there was drugs, the youth could not even, parents could not even take their children down there. We took those basketball posts down so we cleaned up that area, and we said, move it back here behind the village hall. That was the direction of the village board. He's correct. It took over a year to get him back there because he didn't want to. Yep. He wanted to make a big deal about us removing basketball posts. Quit making a big deal about everything. I sat here very quiet tonight. I sat here very patient. And I know I'm taking a little bit more time than I probably should. However, I guess you can only take so much. I'm human. If you have any questions, I encourage you, come up and talk to me. I'm pretty open-minded, and I try to be open because you know what? I realized that when I was elected to serve you, not to control you like there's a few on this board that want to do. It's not about controlling you, it's about working for you and serving you, the residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks,
I just had a couple things, not to be repetitive, but I know Trustee Hanks encouraged the residents to do the board meeting minutes. I appreciate that. I also think that there's a huge audience here tonight. I encourage you to attend more board meetings. I see a lot of new faces. And I think that if you were at more meetings, you may be able to realize why I wrote this. Specifically, as I just used the word I, let's refer back to around an hour and a half ago when Trustee Burgess asked the mayor why he was not informed about Subway and who he talked to. And he had a committee because the mayor used the word I. He says we do things, but he doesn't use the word I. All I heard from that speech was what? I, being the mayor did. I. I know we have police officers in this building. Here's what I would love everybody to understand. This vote of confidence was written far before the incident that happened with the Sauk office. This vote on the 17th. If you can recall, what I said earlier was the incident with the Sauk happened on the 18th, the very next day. This vote of no confidence that, again, I had nothing to do with the Sauk. I should have revised it, but it was already signed at this point, so I did not alter the document because I don't alter documents. Since it was already signed, I left it as such. This, and again, I have no problem. Once it's been voted out to disseminate this through the audience, we can burn the copier up, make a copy. But if I could just read part of this. The recent tactics used when handling appropriations shows your complete disregard for village procedure, as well as your lack of knowledge and respect for the position of the Board of Trustees. This vote of no confidence, among everything else that I could have added to this was regarding the specific situation where you had a person in office who had not been appropriated for, and the mayor tried over 2 times in payroll to have this person paid. He went above and beyond the appropriation power of the board and sent out executive orders, which we all know he cannot do, and gave a direction to village personnel to not only make checks, but sign checks to give to this individual. Since this individual had not been appropriated for, that was against policy and procedure. This board went to him the first time he attempted. Complete disregard. He attempted again in 2 weeks. That was the major reason for this vote of no confidence. Like I said, there could have been other things. And the Sauk had nothing to do with this. There could be another one that was written. Mr. Sauk, I chose not to do that. Because the nature of why this was written was for this particular incident. Now you can choose to believe that, you can choose to not, but it's dated. The mayor says he didn't receive a copy of the signature. That's true. I attempted to have it signed that night and have copies made. We were directed by the board made a suggestion to table it, to bring it back up, because we had a special meeting. I wanted to vote on that. It was voted to table it and bring it back up tonight to vote on it. And he sat right there, the mayor sat right there, as all of us. I was the first one to sign it. He did state in executive session that whoever signed it, he was going to file a lawsuit against, and that's fine. I said, well, let me be the first to sign. And I signed my name. That piece of paper went around the board. Every trustee in that room, Trustee Benson was not there. Every trustee in that room did sign that piece of paper. The mayor sat there and watched it. So no, he does not have a copy of it, but as soon as we have a motion, we have a second, if the vote is approved, I will, as soon as the board meeting is over, I will go make copies. The mayor will have his copy. He will actually get the original. And then copies will be available. But this is something that I just want to let everybody know. This has nothing to do with the Sauk Talk. This was well before that. And I think that, again, if you come to board meetings and you've seen with your own eyes, I'm not telling you to make your own judgment, see with your own eyes what has happened in this village. I mean, I think it would be interesting to see how many lawsuits we've had in the past 2.5 years. The mayor said that he had to go without a village manager for 2.5 years. I find that slightly hard to believe because he hasn't even been in office for 3, and he had Ms. Bill Corley for a whole year. And we did have, there was a significant amount of time so we had a village manager, but then we had Ms. Turner come in. So it's not 2.5 years. It's little things like that where pontificating without correct research and without correct knowledge is giving a false view of how the village is being operated, how the village is being run. And I would just encourage people, do your research, get your facts. Because although it's a little thing like saying, I went without a village manager for 2.5 years, all it's going to take is for you to pull minutes and see that did not happen. So again, if anybody has any questions, feel free. You can come see me. I can tell you, I can answer whatever questions you have. But I've heard little stuff about this has nothing to do with soccer.
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Burgess.
I just want to say a few things. First of all, you made the statement about no confidence. You made the statement that we drew up a letter, a vote of no confidence, and you were wondering why. Well, first of all, I want to say this literally. It's a shame that this village, Sauk Village, has gotten to this point that the only time the news media comes out if it's something negative. That we cannot move this village forward, we cannot say we're getting ready to open up a grand whatever, a grand endeavor or anything that we're going to create, anything that happens. We didn't get this much press when we had WinPack open over there where DP Partners is located. We didn't get this much press. But now that is negativity, we have negative, and we're trying to move the village forward, then you ask me about voter no confidence. I'll give you a couple of examples why I feel that there's no confidence in this administration with you at the leadership. Number one, WinPack. WinPack was brought here by DP Partners, not yourself. It was brought in before you took office. It was in the works at that time. According to Michael Dermody, chief officer, and Douglas Kersey, who's the president of DP Partners, and you can quote me on that because I've talked to them, that this was back before you became mayor. This was back in 2007 that this all started, that they were trying to bring this manufacturing company because they're located in Chicago Heights, just down the street on Butler. So they were looking for a home at that time, and all that was put into effect at that time, but quite naturally it rolled over to your administration. But to say you went out and got that, that's number one thing that's wrong. And to tell the people something like that, I just want to let everyone know. Also, Bear Paint. I was told that I was the one to make Bear Paint move from where they're located over to where Dermody Properties is located. I wish I could do that. That's the feat that I'm sure I wish I could do, but they moved over there specifically so it could be in a TIF district, so they could have more of a tax control over their business. Much like we voted for this particular business, and they still haven't opened up. They're still not there, and we gave them a tax break, stating that, okay, well, if we give them a tax break, they can do this, they can do that. In the meantime, nothing's happened. Back to WinPack is 350,000 square feet, not 300 square feet, 350,000 square feet. Also, you said about raising taxes. We raise taxes every year. Every single year. If anyone knows, taxes are raised every time you have a levy. Every time there's a levy in December, taxes are raised. You think you just have a levy in all taxing bodies, not just the village, school districts, and library board. Every taxing body applies for a levy. A levy means that they're raising taxes without your approval. And we have, and each and every taxing body has that right to do that up to a certain extent, up to a certain percentage. So yes, we do raise taxes each and every year. So to say that we're not raising taxes, we haven't raised taxes, but we're trying not to raise taxes, we raise them every single year. The Christmas baskets, Mr. Mayor, was bought in, because I asked the guy, respond now. I even asked you, where did the money come from? And you said that it came from DP Partners. I asked you how much was it? You said 10,000. So I said, okay, did they give you the money? You said, no, they gave it to the Food Depository of Chicago. Now, how you able to get those baskets out here, I don't know, but respond now. Gentlemen told me at the time that things were passed out that they did this. That respond now. It was nice that you were there to shake hands and tell everybody things were coming out. But that's what that was for. So that's what I'm talking about as far as misrepresentation. And last but not least, Mr. Mayor, when a person, you can sit up and say that we don't care about this village, that we're not animate, that we're not, we don't have our heart is not into this. Before you moved out here, sir, I've been here for 30 years, raised my children and grandchildren out here. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not even in this for the glory. I'm in this because, first of all, I'm in an investment, and I want to see my investment move not go down, but to go up, number one, and I do care. If anyone knows anything about that, I do care about the residents. Irregardless of what you may think, but I am not a rubber stamp. And since I'm not a rubber stamp, what did you do? You took my money away. Why? Because you could. You decided at this particular time that you had 42 checks to be signed. You signed 40. And you decided not to sign mine, and you made this flimsy excuse that you were looking to see because my check was different than last month. Quite naturally it was, because we only had 3 meetings. So everybody's check was different. Why did you choose to take mine out and not sign it, and then not get in touch with me, not call and say, Mr. Burgess, or whoever you want to call me, I'm not going to sign your check because I'm waiting on something. But now, not to return phone calls and to give me the excuse that on that particular day that you did it, you lost your phone. The following day, you wouldn't have a meeting with the governor. So you came back Saturday and I asked you, did you consult with anybody? You said no, you just signed it anyway. Why would you do that? And that was the reason. So you asked me about no confidence. So if I don't go along, you've already made it clear. If I don't go along, I'm going to mess with your money. I'm just going to keep it real. I'm going to mess with your money because you won't do what I ask you to do. Not only check, but you also get cards when we get elected into office. We get commission cards. Why would you not sign that? You sign every other commission card, but you say it's not personal. I am tired. I am not going to sit here and stand for it. I say it every meeting. These residents elected us to do a job, not to sit up here and whine and sit up here and the job is not easy. Nobody ever said it was. But we sit here to use our own brain to make the decisions that we use our own discretion to make. And just simply because you say something doesn't mean it's so. Just because it's the way that you want to go, we don't go your way, we're not working with you. I don't know about you, but if I was mayor, I wouldn't want a rubber stamp. I need input. I need someone to come up and say, you know, sometimes you may be wrong. You may be wrong, Mr. Mayor, but you won't do that. When we say you may be wrong, tough, we're going to still do it my way. If you don't want to do it my way, you've already showed me what you would do. You already let me know if I don't agree with you, I can reach out and grab your money. That's a shame. Now, I don't know how many people here work, have a job. I'm sure a lot of them do. But when you do something like that, that is nothing but personal. That is not, oh, I forgot, I made a mistake. And you talk about have confidence. We have board meetings. And we go back and forth. I ask not to have that happen. But some people get gavelled and some don't. Some people are told to be quiet and some aren't. You show the division. In this room right here, we have black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all diversities here. But to allow a trustee or any elected official to speak on race is wrong. And that is wrong. And for yourself to be at a meeting and allow someone else to speak about race, stating that you are Martin Luther King and I am this person that was talking, Malcolm X. And by any means necessary, we will make things happen. You don't think that gets out? Yes, it does. And to be part of it, and to be part of something like that is wrong. You represent all the people. We all represent all people here. We represent each and every person. But to divide it like this and think we can get along, we got to, when we leave here, guys, we all got to go home. We got to take that same route down here that we came here. We have to live together. But to incite things that go on here and then you leave out here like you're mad about something because what? Because you got all riled up here in the meeting. Then you get out there, you argue with one another because of what? Because it was riled up in the meeting, because someone didn't say something and it was not stopped. This is not a personal vendetta meeting. This is a meeting to take care of business. Business at hand to move the village forward. Hopefully one day we can start going up instead of down. Hopefully one day that we can see that all we're doing is providing coverage for the news media and not trying to move this village forward. then how can we pay our bills? How can we expect anyone to come in this village and do business and all you have to do is sit back in the back room and just sit and look and listen? Sure, you may get some people may want to come here and do something, but not a respectable business that they see the board cannot even talk to each other with respect. How are you going to respect the citizen? How are you going to ask for respect? First thing I was taught from my parents is if you respect or you give respect, then you get respect. But if you don't, you won't. Thank you, Mr.
I have the greatest, most respect for the position of the mayor. But a couple things in the last few months has happened that really has disturbed me. No, I don't get up and dance on top of the table. No, I don't do business like that. I speak softly, I speak directly, and I speak when I know what I'm talking about. When you have a meeting, and it's going on over and over and over, I have 10 of these full of meetings that you have gone out of control. Now, I hope the trustees hear me when I say this. There's trustees that have gone out of control. There's residents gone out of control. But Mr. Mayor, all you do, I'd be willing to bet you there's a hole underneath that gavel. But the point of it is, there is a